I used to have 10 non-negotiables, and then I decided that I don't want to die alone. So I have
So the 10 non-negotiables became one non-negotiable. I'm just kidding.
just have a dick.
Hello, and welcome to Situaseans podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Williams, aka seanydoo. You can call me Sean, Shawnee, seanydoo. Does not matter to me. I'm just glad that y'all are here. You like that nickname, don't you?
Yeah, just say anything around like shh. Yeah, you will probably reply to it.
Exactly. As you may have heard if you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube, I have a guest here. Who is this special guest?
Who am I? What a question.
Yes.
I guess I should do my intro now.
Right. Yeah. You all are going to find out. So actually, you know what? Without further ado, so my special guest is a comedian. She is a development relations, was it like a development relations leader at Meta, the Facebook Meta. Yes, you heard that right. Mark Zuckerberg, he actually is listening to this podcast right now as we speak. He's like, what? She's going to be on this podcast? I got to tune in.
Yeah, he's a big fan of this podcast.
Right?
Right.
Let's speak it into the universe, right? It'll happen.
There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Right, exactly.
We're just making more of them.
Exactly. She's also a comedian, and she is a speaker. She speaks at different events, and she started her own non-for-profit business. So I'm not going to steal the ball here. So I'm going to turn it over to my very special guest, Elisha Tan.
Hey. Hi everyone. My name is Elisha. I'm from Singapore, and I am a developer relations or developer program manager at Meta. That is what pays for my bill that allows me to live in San Francisco. But outside of my main job, I have a bunch of different passion projects, so to speak. So one is a community grant. Essentially, what I do is I set aside about 10% of my salary to fund community projects like food pantry, and these are all small community run projects. And what I do is just give them the money to do it. So that's one. Before I moved to San Francisco, I also started this community for women who want to switch careers into tech. It's called Tech Ladies. So we run a bunch of programming boot camps, mentorship, events, and talks to help women switch careers from like dog groomer, air stewardess, customer service representative into like product managers, software engineers. And now I also do stand-up comedy. So pretty new. That is what brought me into Chicago. And I do a lot of things, and hence I'm single. Yeah.
Y'all heard that right. Single and ready to mingle.
Yeah. Mingling.
Yes, love that. But yes, I came across, your reels on Instagram, and then seeing like some of your videos cross-posted on TikTok. I was like, who is this comedian? She's so fucking funny. I need to have her on my show. And we're recording this in a time machine, of course. Like the day that we're recording this is Thanksgiving. So, hey, we're artists out here. We're even working on holidays, right?
Yeah. Giving thanks by doing more work.
Exactly. But yeah, so, she took the time out of her busy touring schedule, work schedule to come and do the show. So yeah, we are going to make sure, Elisha feels so very warm and welcome here. So yeah, thank you for being here. So, you all know what this show is about. A quick couple of housekeeping items. This podcast is about dating, relationships, mental and emotional life experiences. Ooh, fucking we. So we go through so much. And I want you all to continue sharing this podcast with your friends, your families, your coworkers, a mama, a papa, a sister, a brother, anybody that wants to, tune in or that is going through something, because we all go through shit, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure you'll find out a lot of your family members during Thanksgiving. No, they probably need to hear this podcast. So please share it around to people you like, people you don't like, everyone.
Exactly. Because nothing's better than a hate listen. I hate hate this. So you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and just listen. Use that reverse, like use like the reverse psychology. You don't want to listen to that podcast. Don't listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah. Don't listen to this podcast.
Right, don't. So we're recording in advance, of course. So by the time like this episode comes out, we'll be in December. But you know, I'm just like want to wish you all a happy holidays.
We can pretend it's Christmas. Hey, Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Everybody. Woo!
Right? Damn, I should have had like stockings over here. But also if you all have any stories or dating icks, submit it to situationspodcast.com/submit. And there you can submit any stories that you're going through. And then again, if you have, if you come across someone's dating app profile and they have something in their prompt that's like unhinged, submit it to situationspodcast.com/submit, because we will share that little prompt. Of course, we don't share names, faces, anything like that, but we want to hear from you all. And if you have a dating ick, if a guy sent you a dick pic and you don't want that shit, you didn't ask for that shit, submit it. Now, not the dick pic, but submit.
Instructions unclear. Your inbox is now full with dick pics.
Exactly. Damn it.
That's why you want it all along, isn't it?
Right? But yes, submit like that story about that situation that ick that irritated you to situationspodcast.com/ick. So today we're going to be talking about a lot. So we're going to be, talking about, what's it like for Elisha going on tour as a comedian, as far as as well as balancing work schedules and, dating on the apps, because hey, the apps are there. I'm on the apps. You're on the apps, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're just, trying to talk about our experiences on that. And then, as well as busy work schedules, balancing that and the creative things that we all, do in our individual lives. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be unpacking a few Hinge or Unhinged dating app prompts. So thank you all for tuning in. We're about to get on into it. Tell me about your dating status. Are are you you're on the apps? Are you single or is it like an open relationship? Tell us what's going on out here.
Yeah, spill the tea. I'm single. I'm single for about 1.5 years now, thereabouts, and it's a bit of a long story because I grew up in Singapore, and maybe this is the question that will come out next. I actually grew up in Singapore, and I moved because I knew I wanted to be in San Francisco, where the tech scene is the best, and I was dating someone who lives in Portland. And so we did long distance for 2 years, and then I decided to I want to hop over the pond, and so my ex influenced the timing. And then once I got here, we broke up. So
it's moved out here, broke up. Wow.
Yeah. I think we were together once I moved here. We were together for about 1 year-ish, and then we ended things. So that was not this July, but July of last year. Yeah. So since then, I've been out in the wilderness, just dating, just navigating, not just dating, but dating in your mid-30s. And also dating in a new country, a new culture. And there's a lot of things to navigate around that.
Yeah. Wow. And, kind of just talking about dating it, especially, in your mid-30s. When you just said mid-30s, I was like, no way this woman is anywhere in her 30s. You look like you're maybe 21, 22.
I know the secret is bukkake.
It's good for the skin, yes.
Good for the skin.
Yes. So, and I think that was another thing too, because I saw your stand-up, set yesterday, and I was just like, wow, okay, you really know how how to work a crowd. People were just dying laughing. I was like, oh my God, my cheeks fucking hurt.
Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of my jokes, especially the one that I did yesterday, Laugh Factory, woo-woo.
Yes, Laugh Factory.
A lot of the jokes that I did, my main bit is around dating, and so a lot of them are actually taken from, heavily inspired or influenced by my actual life story. Mm-hmm. So I talked about how being in Asia, and especially growing up as a little girl, we're often taught about how fairy tales and how you're taught to be princesses and what you expect of love. Especially there's also the added layer in Asia where if you're not married by your late 20s, you're kind of like, is there something, and it's not just about societal expectations, but there's also policy influences as well. Like in Singapore, majority of the housing available are actually public housing. So you buy it from the government. Technically, you don't buy it. You rent it for 99 years. And so majority of Singaporeans live in public housing, but you can only buy a new public housing if you are married or above 35.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that is a policy that's geared towards trying to get people to get married and so they can buy a apartment. And so if not, then you just have to wait until you're 35, of which then you're eligible to buy a small 2-bedroom apartment for new, or you have to buy a resale, which is usually about maybe 2 times more expensive than buying that new. So there's a lot of pressure on just like, okay, this is what is expected of you to get married, to have kids, not just about the community, but also policy. And so that's what I grew up with. And so when I was in my early 20s, I thought I would be a mom by 26. And I went through a phase of like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. But now I'm more open to the idea of marriage. So I'm still on the fence of having kids. And so like that, my stand-up. Yeah, I do a startup and stand-up. So sometimes I confuse them too. But my stand-up a lot is just talking about like how societal expectations and then, how do I navigate, being a single 35-year-old woman and dating in the US where women like me are actually fetishized. But you don't see that in Asia because we're all Asians.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I were to go to Asia, would I be fetishized?
Honestly, probably not.
Yeah.
Because in Southeast Asia, at least, we have a colonial past. So there's still some pockets of white superiority. Yeah, and so your color, unfortunately,
we're not the preferred type.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I would say, like, in places like in Singapore, where I'm from, or the more modern cities, some of the countries are really big, but in the more modern cities, you'll be fine. People will see you approach you with curiosity rather than discrimination. Yeah. Because Black people in Singapore is very rare. There's probably like maybe less than 500 or 1,000 in a country of 5 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good to know. As for me, I'm single as well, just out here trying to find trying to like find that, I guess, like my quote unquote other half. We'll see what happens. Like I do want a relationship, but I am moving to California, so it's like,
sweet. Like which part?
Los Angeles.
For like entertainment.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I do like a lot of acting on the side. So my day job is I work at Blue Cross Blue Shield Health Insurance.
Okay.
And so I do email marketing.
Right.
And so
sounds boring as hell.
It's so boring.
That's why you need this podcast.
Right. Exactly. But I do like a lot of like musical theater outside of this, and then like act in commercials via like whatever like my agent can book me for, and then I do like, I guess, very small things on like TV, like one-liners or whatever. But I want to do more. I want to get like like get my foot in the door even more.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to like get out there to be in the industry, but we'll see. But so that's mostly why. So I'll be moving next summer.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. So, as far as like the whole dating thing, I am, I am still dating with intention, but I do let people know like, hey, I got plans on moving, but if this isn't for you, no worries at all. I'm just here just to connect, and if you feel the same, cool. If not,
Yeah, I'm with you. Like in my notes, I say that I'm focusing on doubting, want to date but not really dating because of trade-offs, often distracted by men. LOL. So
Right.
honestly, that's the same thing. Like I want to date, but there are things that I want more. Like I rather to be known as a comedian, a developer relations manager, a philanthropist, a friend. I want all of this label more than I want the label of a wife, a girlfriend, a lover.
Right.
And so even though yes,
Yes.
I do want a relationship, being an adult is just all about trade-offs, right? What else do you want more? And so that's where I am now. If I were to reflect at all the pillars of things that I want, but men are distracting though. Send me the dick pics, y'all.
You heard it here.
No, not really, but seriously. But
JK, but seriously. So tell me, what is the dating scene like in San Francisco?
oh my god, can you read my face? So much fun, people.
Men do better.
I used to think that so some background about San Francisco. So San Francisco is a tech hub. It's part of the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. So
Yeah.
a lot of people like me are drawn for the opportunities in tech. So we're like the LA for tech. Right. And so a lot of people are drawn globally and also within the US, they want to be in San Francisco. So what happens is that the makeup of San Francisco are a lot of people who are not born and raised San Franciscan.
Yeah.
They're so rare. I don't know what they're called. But, it's that native San Francisco. Let's just put it that way. And so a lot of people are in tech. And that's why it's very monotonous, because you don't get people who are in arts or just like a sort of a blue collar job. Majority of people are in tech, specifically software engineers, and every stereotype that you have about them is probably real. So it's almost like if I went on a date with 2 or 3 people, I've sort of dated the whole community. So sort of. And so nah.
Do you have like a type that you typically go for?
Well, my last few exes were actually software engineers, so I thought that I would be like a dating paradise in San Francisco. But then I grew up, and so like dating preferences changed as well. And this is part of the reason why like I didn't want to get married when I was a little younger, because I feel like we are all changing as people, and so I didn't feel it was realistic to have someone for like 50 years that is expected to change with me and will like the new version, slightly updated version of me, or that I would like a slightly updated version of him.
Yeah.
And so like if we're changing like apparently, do you know that your cells, all of you get a new you every 7 years.
Oh,
you're sort of like your
like
cells
the
regenerate.
regeneration.
Yeah. But fact check me and then send me a dick pic along with it. Yeah, but so let's just say, okay, let's just take it as a terrible heuristic, but let's say if like every 7 years you have a new you, and so what's the point of getting married when you're doing it for like 70 years, right? And that's be like 4 or 5 versions of you.
Right, yeah.
And so like I used to date software engineers because I like the nerdy types, a little bit quirky, weird. And then when I got into a relationship, then they're too weird.
Too weird as in like in the bedroom too weird, or just
like the little quirks, like the behavior.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that when you go to a Chinese restaurant and you're like, I can eat spicy, and then you order like maximum spice and then you just die, and it's not what you expect. So that's kind of like how I feel dating, how my dating preferences changed, what I thought I knew, but turns out I didn't. And so yes, in San Francisco, there's a lot of software engineers type. Around San Francisco, there's different pockets of people. Like Oakland tend to be a bit more like artistic, and then down south in San Jose is more like Mexicans, Fremonts, Indian, and so on, like racial clusters almost. But because I don't drive and I don't want to commute, so I'm kind of like stuck with the nerds in San Francisco. So I'm like, okay, not the worst thing. I'll just do comedy,
Right, the laughter will keep you young. There you go. So you've been to Chicago before, right?
Yeah. So I've been to Chicago for vacation, like early December, and I'm on a thing to visit every state in the U.S. while I'm here.
All right.
Yeah. And so Chicago, I wanted to want to come here and want to check out the comedy scene, the deep dish pizza, the man. No, just kidding. Yeah. So I came here. And did a couple of open mics, and then when I saw that Laugh Factory, they were putting up a show, and I just sent a tape, and that's how I was selected, and I came back.
All right. Yes. Wow. Love that. Like, I guess like the deep dish pizza and everything like that. I guess there's those some of your favorite things about the city, but as far as like some of the, cool things to do, or like, what's like your favorite, I must know, what's your favorite food in Chicago if it's not deep dish?
Oh, it has to be deep dish, right? Because they made it. You guys made it a container of cheese. Everyone is just a plate of cheese. You guys have a container of cheese. That is smart.
I never thought about it that way.
So yes, more cheese. Put a container. Build it higher. I don't care. That is how I see all of the carbs. They are just a conduit to contain things.
Yeah.
Like with fries, it's just the sauce, the dip. Like nachos is just like dip.
Yeah.
And like the dough is for the cheese. That's what deep dish pizza is all about.
Do they do deep dish in Singapore?
Probably not good ones. I don't recall having any deep dish pizza over there.
Okay.
We have rice. That's our carb, and then we have like stuff on the rice.
Yeah. I've never like traveled to anywhere in Asia, but that is like next on my list.
For Singapore?
But like Singapore, Japan, and China.
Yeah.
And I love sushi, so I'm like addicted to sushi. Like,
nice.
That's like my favorite food in the whole wide world. But
nice,
and like also, I really like architecture as well. So that's another reason why I just want to just travel, just in general, like just to see like the historical sites. But,
yeah. Quite challenging. But it's good fun. It'll be quite challenging in Japan and Tokyo, I guess, for you, because if you don't speak the language,
right? Yeah. I gotta like start getting those language lessons in now, huh?
Gotta watch the anime, man.
Right? Yes. So, how long have you been doing comedy? And like tell us what led to your passion for that.
Yeah, when it comes to like how long I've been doing comedy, honestly, I'm a little bit shy to say this because I might get hated for it. But I've been doing comedy on and off for a year.
Oh, only a year? All right, actually leave the show now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, on and off for a year, more consistently for 5 months. Okay. And so to be able to do the gigs that I do, it is obviously a blessing. It's testament to my skill. Just kidding.
No, it is though, because you blew up so fast. So no, for sure.
Yeah. And I credit my public speaking experience. A lot of people, when they hear that I've only done it 5 months, they will ask like, oh, what's the secret? Intelligence. No, just kidding. I've done like more than 10 years of public speaking. So like just having people stare at my face is okay. It's just gonna make it funny. And it's just like I've been a joker for a big part of my life. So I just need to be able to finesse good jokes. So that was the skill that I need to learn. And so yeah, I've been pretty lucky in just like people acknowledging my craft and recognize my potential and put me in spots then so that I can practice. And part of the reason why I got a lot more intense at it is also because to repay people who saw my potential. I want them to see that, they made the right bet with me.
Yes.
And that's always like something that I care a lot about. But why I do comedy? I actually wanted to do comedy since like 2018. I just didn't know where to start. Because in Singapore, we don't have full freedom of speech. And so comedy, it's not that... We have a few comedians, but it's not really like a comedy scene, a big comedy scene over there. And for me, comedy is a very personal thing to me. If you see like my professional and also like passion project, there's always an underlying theme of love for people. I don't like everyone, but I love humanity and people as a whole. Just want to say that out. And like I didn't have a really great childhood, And so like laughter actually brought me out of a dark place. It was a crutch that I used until I can find my own purpose and my own reason to get, to hold on to that joy.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, laughing, the gift of joy is a very precious gift. And to be able to give that to other people, like there's so much shit happening in the world right now, whether it's your personal shit or just like look around the world shit. And so if I can just let someone forget everything about that, just for that 5 to 10 minutes, laugh. That to me is, wow, I think I did something good. I give something good into the environment. And making people laugh brings me joy too. So this is this energy exchange is very strange.
Yeah.
Because if I give you, you get it and you give it back to me. And so we are both left happier.
Yeah.
So that to me is the beauty of comedy.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Go all the way the fuck off. Speaking of go all the way the fuck off, get your go all the way the fuck off t-shirts. If you're watching on YouTube, go to, situationspodcast.com, click on the merch tab, and get your go all the way the fuck off t-shirt. Actually, you'll see it pop up right here on the screen.
Right here. Where? Here?
Yeah, right here.
There. We're going to make your editing job hot. There.
Right? And then now over there.
Up there.
Yes. No, but that's so amazing that you've been able to kind of like, take your personal experience and like your upbringing and, implement comedy to, turn like a negative into like a positive. That's so inspiring.
Yeah. And I think a lot of comedians are like that. And one of the comedians, he's been doing it close to 20 years. And he actually told me that this industry, I think this relates to like dating comedians too. Like this industry attracts a lot of people with struggles, to put it very nicely. So that's why you see a lot of comedians, they will joke about depression, anxiety, bipolar, and so on. I think that there is almost some kind of beauty in like people who are with their own struggles. They understand the value of joy more, and therefore they're more motivated to give other people that joy.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And just being like an artist and like an actor like myself, I come from a traumatic upbringing as well. A lot of abuse from stepdad. We argued a lot and we would like throw hands. He was very toxic.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And so I had theater and like I had music. I had all these other like outlets to kind of like, get away from all of that. And it's kind of like almost like a trend that I am seeing in a lot of like artists today is like, like they've all like we all come from something, but but we're sort of using like this outlet to like, turn a negative into a positive, and we're spreading so much laughter, joy, entertainment through all these different outlets and ventures. And so it's just so inspiring just to hear how you've been able to, make it full circle and just bring laughter to so many people.
Art is pain.
Right? Exactly.
Well, but also, I think you don't need to be broken in order to be artistic.
Right, exactly. Let's clear that up.
There's an overlap. It's not a full circle. That's right. I'll put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
So don't hurt yourself just to do art. That's
right. What is it like touring in so many different cities? Is there like a certain city that you prefer to, perform in?
Ooh.
Chicago, of course.
Is it?
Quick, someone send her a dick pic so she'll change her mind about it.
Yeah. More, please. I think that this is related when I talk about tour. Why am I touring? This is related to my comedy goal. So my goal here in comedy is to put out a special, an album that I'm really proud of, that touches people all around the world. So for me, I'm very clear that I don't want to be a Bay Area comedian. I am a comedian from the Bay Area. There is a distinction there, because if you're a Bay Area comedian, what that term means to me is that you are very in tune with a local audience, but your jokes might not make sense outside of that area. And that's why I prefer to be known as a comedian from the Bay Area, not a Bay Area comic. Slight distinction, but as part of going towards that goal of making an internationally well-loved album or a special, is that I want to be able to write for an international audience. I want to be able to perform for an international audience. And that is why I've also been very privileged and fortunate that my main job pays for my vacation, or it brings me out of the country, and so I can do a little bit of what I call a guest spot tour. So these are like small little spots in like smelly bars. Laugh Factory is an anomaly. It's not usually the level of places that I play yet.
Yet, exactly.
Yeah.
Put it into the universe.
Put it in the universe. Book me, anybody?
Yes.
Madison Square Garden. If you're listening, please book me one day.
Right.
That's like 20,000 people. The arena is huge.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah. So I want to put myself out there to learn how to write for an international audience. That's why I'm out there. So when it comes to a favorite city, I don't really have a favorite city. I'm just happy that people like me. Really?
Yeah.
When I talk about jokes or about like my dating, even though I am obviously different from the American audience, but they could come along with my journey and hear my story, be invested in where I'm bringing them to. I think that's amazing.
How is it that like comedians come up with things on the spot so quickly, improvising, especially when it comes to like hecklers? Because there's always a heckler at every show, no matter where. There's always someone that just wants their little 15 seconds of like fame or whatever, or to fuck with the comedian, like, so how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so on the notes I say, experience being bullied. So
oh my God! Right, experience being bullied. Yeah.
So like, I think there's a few things like technically you can sort of help yourself be prepared before being heckled, because when it comes to heckling or like unwanted audience interaction, there's usually a few categories, like the terrible heckler, like you suck, blah, 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 like, or the almost like improv yes and like yes girl you do you, like it's also it kind of it's like good heckling. They're good, they have good intentions, but they're hecklers still.
Right. Yeah.
Or people who try to like, just participate. But generally, there's good and bad heckler. Let's just put it that way. And you can sort of have a bit of preparation for that. And so I usually have like a few things that my go-to to shut them up. Most people tend to be a good heckler. The bad hecklers are very rare. But my go-tos are, I don't understand what you're saying. I need subtitles. Yeah. Because, I
love that.
That is related to my starting joke. My opening joke is always, don't worry if you cannot understand my accent, because I don't understand yours either. So to me, that comeback is also a callback to my joke. So I was trying to like round the attention back to my stuff. Yes. By calling back to my jokes. Yeah. So I usually do that, or I just tell you like, please stop. The audience interaction part is over.
Yeah.
Because in my usual set, I also do some crowd work. So when I design my crowd work, it's a specific part of my performance that I open to give permission to the audience to react to me. Once that part is closed, we moved on. I would just say that no, the audience interaction part is over.
Right.
Like, please stop. Okay, thanks. Or just straight up ignore. So like just bulldoze that person and continue on in my set. The good hecklers are a little bit more annoying because they have good intentions. So part of my jokes is around like, oh, I don't know if I'll find anyone. I'm 35. I don't know if I've passed my prime. It's a vibe that it's an honest reflection of my insecurities. But if you stay long enough, you'll realize that I also react on my own insecurities and come back on it. But sometimes when I bring people down to that level, they'll be like, oh, there was one lady. She's like, oh, you're so beautiful. You'll be fine. No, don't think like that. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you're nice, but you're also annoying.
Right. It's it's taking us out of your performance.
Yeah. So just like yes and and here's why, just sort of like acknowledge and then bring it back to my set. So I have been, if you watch some of my IG stuff, one of the whole quick wit thing is in my roast battles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So roast battles are essentially like playground bullies, but like comedians on the stage.
Yeah.
Right. So we try to be funny in how we bully each other, make jokes of making fun about each other. And that's how, when I first tried it, that's how I realized that, oh, my brain is wired in a way that I can actually have a quick comeback just like that. Some of my comedian friends also acknowledge that my crowd work is great. Is one of my strengths. I honestly don't really know how I got to it. At this point, it's almost like intuitive. It's like having a conversation. I'll just like say it back. So I guess that's why I say I experienced being bullied, like stream of unconsciousness. It's just sort of like, it's part of my history. That it's hard to distill how I come up for those that are really top of. It just came out like that. Yeah. But like this whole quick wit thing has gotten me into trouble, of course, because I say a joke where I'm not supposed to, like in a workplace or whatever. And so these people don't know humor.
Right.
So good and bad.
What is it like dating on the apps as a comedian? And, and especially, I guess, even at the time when when you were in a relationship, I'm sure you were like, the funny one, right? But what is it like being a comedian out here on the apps?
Well, like I think like for me, I've always been a little bit like out of the norm, like starting my own startup as a recent fresh grad. And it's a tech startup, so I actually learned how to code to start the tech startup. So as a young woman in Asia, non-tech, that was a little bit rare. And so my profile has always been I've always been known as ambitious. Some people call me inspirational. So I'm always doing something cool, something interesting. And now comedy is the newest cool thing. And so when it comes to dating, people are drawn to that. And so their pickup lines are horrible.
Oh, I bet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What's the worst pickup line like that you can think of that someone said?
Yeah, like, oh, you have it here on your notes. Tell me a joke, or like, I've been working on a joke for some time. Do you want to like workshop it together? I'm like,
yeah.
It's like asking a person to do stuff for free.
Right.
I'm like, hey, well, why don't you tell me a joke now? Not an autobiographer. Write your own life story. That is the joke.
Right.
Yeah. So
that has to be annoying, just hearing people say, "Oh yeah, you're a comedian. Are you funny? Tell me a joke." Or "Are you really funny? Prove it." Like.
Yeah. It's like going to someone who does parkour and say, "Do a backflip." It's it just distill people into. I just feel like it's very, very disrespectful.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's like, being a comedian is a draw, but it also draws a lot of crap.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I know, like, one time I went on a date with somebody, and like we were having conversations about what we're into, and like as far as passions, and like I told him I was in a theater, and she was like, "Oh, so you sing? Yeah, sing something for me right now."
Oh. You should have sang something horrible, just like embarrass her at the date, like, just belt out into like a Broadway, whatever. Les Mis, do something sad,
Exactly. And and then like one time I went on a date with somebody, and like I was telling them how I was doing like this opera production. I've never done opera before. That was like my first time ever doing opera at like the Lyric Opera in Chicago. So this huge venue or whatever. And, she was like, "Oh, so wait, if you're in that show, you do opera, can you sing?" Absolutely not. Actually, no, I can't. I can't sing at all. Like
yeah.
They just saw me on the stream. Was like, "Hey, come on in."
Yeah, I just sweep the floor at the back.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can only imagine. Now, at times when you were in a relationship, now, did your significant other at the time, did they ever say, "Hey, Can you just tell me a joke? I'm just feeling sad right now. Like, has that ever happened?
Oh, no. So, like, I started comedy after I broke up with my ex. So, like, I've been with a couple of people in situationship, but, like, none of them have, like, tell me a joke type of person. So, so I'm pretty glad for that. And then I hope to keep that record going.
Absolutely.
Oh, I've written joke of like a situationship though. Like this guy, he ended things with me. We were seeing each other for about 6 months, exclusively for 2. So it's not like it's net new or whatever, right? And like he ended things with me by ghosting me while I was having COVID.
Wow.
So I'm like, this guy is a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, like both literally and figuratively.
He's going to be in your next piece, yes.
Yeah, he is in my piece. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
As far as like your schedule as a comedian and, as a businesswoman and as an entrepreneur and, as a founder of a non-for-profit, you do so many things.
Yeah.
How does your schedule fit in with dating? Like, have you ever come across someone who's like, hey, I really like you, but your schedule's so busy.
Yeah.
How do we make this work?
Yeah, that's why I'm single. Like, honestly.
I feel you.
Yeah, it's just like trade-off, right? Like, what do you want more? And we talked about like how I want to be a comedian, blah, 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 like girlfriend, whatever, is a little bit lower tier. And I think about dating on apps is that whatever information they have on there is not compelling enough than say like, hey, do you want to do another show at this specific place? Like the last date that I went to was with the guy in Chicago, whom like, I am doing this podcast because I extended my stay and then he canceled on our date.
How dare you? I hope you're watching so that you feel bad.
I will send him this so that he feels bad.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's been a while since I went on like a date. That's also one of the ick. This would be my ick submission where people are like romantically or, okay, maybe not romantically, sexually for sure, sexually attracted to me or interested to know more about me, but they never ask me out on a date. What they will say is, do you want to hang out?
So do you prefer the term, hey, can I take you out on a date? Or do you prefer the term, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, how do you...
Date. I mean, I feel like the words, the intention matters, right? If you want to hang out, I will see you as a friend, as a platonic friend, right? And so there's nothing romantic around that. And there's nothing wrong with that because if that's your intention, I want your intention and your words and your actions to be aligned. Right, but if you're interested in me as a potential partner, then ask me out on a date. Right. What I really don't like is when they ask to hang out, but they're not quite sure. They try to do stuff like hold my hand, and I think that's just not congruent with their intention, actions, and the words that they use, and that's my ick.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's a really good ick. So many women, I know personally would, agree with you and say the exact same sentiment. It's like his words are not matching his intentions. Like his actions are not matching, like he's saying one thing but doing another. Yeah,
this guy is also a comedian. We started off as just a hookup. And then it wasn't clear. Was it a friends with benefits situation or was it something more? Because he was holding my hand in public. Which is like
is this the Chicago guy? Okay, guys, somebody
Chicago
else.
guy only got a hug. Maybe that's why he canceled. I don't know.
Wait, was he at the set yesterday?
Oh my god, yeah, he was standing beside you.
That really tall.
No, he was not that tall. But he's like the black guy who was standing beside you. When you were saying hi to me, there was a guy standing in the shadows. That's not a racist thing because it's black. Because the room was dark, okay?
Right?
Yeah. So you briefly, I don't know if you recall.
I do recall,
really?
Yeah. I saw him and, I don't know. I thought maybe that was your boyfriend or security or something like that.
Security. That's racist.
That's exactly. I was like, damn, I hope her security guard don't like bring out a taser or some shit.
Yeah, body slam you.
Right. But I'm so sorry to like interrupt you. You were talking about somebody else, another
Oh,
date.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that called me. It's not important. Oh, I I laugh so loud in the mic. You're gonna have fun editing it. Like, wow! You know,
Oh no, you're all good.
yeah. So that guy, it started off with like a hookup, and then we continued talking to each other. We still meet each other. We text each other every day. Red flag.
Yeah. Wait, green flag or red flag?
Red flag for his intention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we meet about once every week for about like 3-4 weeks. And then suddenly I don't hear from him.
Oh.
And so when I sort of talked to him about it, he said that his intention has always been clear. He is not looking for anything serious right now, just more of, he said he cares about me, but he's just really looking for a good time. So if you're looking for a good time, if it's just sex, you don't need to take so much of my time. You don't need to be texting me good morning every day.
Right.
That to me was the part that confused me. And so I wasn't happy about it. I felt hurt by his actions. Cause I wasn't sure, like, did he change his mind on being something serious? Or like, does he just want like a brief thing? Brief but a little bit more serious kind of thing? Is it a situationship? It seems like what his intention was just friendship, friends with benefits. And so like, it was also a learning experience for me that I care about labels. Labels are boundaries for me, which can be a very helpful heuristics to understand what is this person's intention and what is expected of me. And so I probably wouldn't date another comedian. The thing is that my past few exes were intact because it's convenient. Like, they understand where I'm coming from. They understand the industry. And tech and comedy are both very male dominated industries. And so they would know that I will always be surrounded by men, send dick pics. And I feel I'm working myself. I feel I'm really going to get dick pics. These are all jokes, unless your dicks are really beautiful. But yeah. Then I'll monetize it by opening an OnlyFans account. You know,
right,
and then I'll monetize it, make some money. I'm an entrepreneur after all. Yeah. Where was I? So we're talking about comedy. Yeah. So I feel like dating someone in tech or dating someone in comedy would be convenient because they already understand, and it's just a natural environment in which we will see each other.
Yeah.
But after this weird thing with that other comedian, not having very clear boundaries actually make things very tricky because we'll still see each other at shows. Right. And comedy is almost like this energy exchange. And I don't want to be in the mindset where like, oh, this guy is here, now I have to perform. Or worse, this guy and my new guy is both at the same show. You know? Just thinking about like that kind of like environment, I'm like, maybe I want to think twice. Unless he's like a really good person.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I wondered, like, was that guy like at one of your most recent performances, like your ex comedian friend?
ex comedian friend, or comedian ex friend, because he's still a comedian.
Right, exactly.
We met. Yeah, we met at a show.
Okay,
we met at a show. Yeah, and then we connected at another show, and then we connected like, you know, like 1-1 situation.
Okay. So you all are going to continue to, I guess, bump into each other because it's kind of a small world. It's a big world, but a small world at the same time.
Yeah. So for now, I think that I have nothing to do with this person, and like when I do comedy, it's for the audience, it's for my craft, it's for my audience, and so I haven't bumped into him yet, but I think that now with that mindset, hopefully I'm ready that when I see him again in the same lineup, I know that my performance is not going to be affected. But we'll see. I'll just send a message to your podcast listener on what happens after that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. Yes, submit the story. We will unpack it on the show. Our listeners love tea.
Yes, so do I.
What qualities do you look for in a partner, and like what do you think are keys to a successful relationship?
All right. For that, I have notes. So like my friend, so I'm the kind of person who like when it comes to New Year, I would have like 4 pillars of goals. So there's professional, there's personal, there's health and whatnot, and there's community, and there's something else I forgot. But I'm the kind who likes to pillarize my goals and a shit ton of goals because I know that when I fall short, I will still achieve a lot. Yeah. So
and and plus you're a woman in STEM, so like having goals, like it's just like it's like it's a Tuesday for you. That's it,
Yeah. And so I have like, what do I want? I have 5 pillars of what I want in life, like connection, joy, discover, fulfillment, bloom. That means maximize my potential.
Yeah.
How do I know if I've achieved them? What does success look like? Right. Let's see. My pillars are health and wealth, relationship, professional, and hobbies. So let's look at relationship stuff.
Yeah, let's get into that.
So I have like 10. Okay, I used to have 10 non-negotiables, and then I decided that I don't want to die alone. So I have
so the 10 non-negotiables became 1 non-negotiable. I'm just kidding.
Just have a dick.
Exactly. Just have a dick and just be able to breathe. That's it.
Yeah. So
you see, like the Chicago guy. You see, all you had to do was just just show up, and you couldn't even like do that. You couldn't even be real.
Yeah. Do you have a dick? Use it.
Right.
So my non-negotiables are I want someone who is driven. So that means have goals, work towards them, but not necessarily place his goals over mine. So I used to conflate driven with ambition, but now I've separated the two because ambition to me is like soft world hunger, really, really big things. But not everyone needs to do really big things. I think drive is just like, oh, I want to be better at my hobby, or like I want to be better at some goal. I want to get fit. I want to take care of my family, so on. I want to do something for the community. So these are things that, I want to know if a man is going somewhere because stagnancy bores me. So you can see from my background, like, oh, it's new stuff, more. So I rather be stressed than be bored. So that's what I need from a partner. I need someone, my non-negotiable is a love for humanity or passion for social causes. Again, this is like, you don't need to like everybody, but love humanity. And that sort of like outward caring, that you don't just see yourself as the center of the universe, or like your family and friends, but also see outside your community, your environment, the world.
Yeah.
I like someone, not done yet. I know it's very long.
No, you're good.
Used to be longer, let's just say that. I need someone communicative and self-aware because of the way that I grew up. Like my parents used to fight a lot and then they stonewall each other.
Same.
And so like for me, it takes a lot from... It took a while for me to learn how to communicate. I don't think I'm full. It's always a work in progress. But what that means is that I need someone to talk to me. Because if you stonewall me, my creativity will take us to many places that we don't even need to be. And so just communicate, this is what someone is, my partner is feeling, this is how I can help. And this is when I can expect a resolution. Right. So ghosting.
Right. Yeah.
Achilles heel.
That's an ick.
Yeah, and communicative and self-aware. I think there's two goals hand in hand, because you have to be aware of your own triggers, your own boundaries, your own like needs and wants, and then communicate them. So that's part 1 and part 2. So I see that as 1, and then I also look for someone who is smart, because who wants a dumbass? Nobody wants a dumbass. Right. So these are the main qualities that I look for.
Amazing. Love that. Go all the way the fuck off.
Yeah. That's a t-shirt, you say?
That is a t-shirt.
Can I get a free one?
Absolutely. I can.
Yay! Freebies!
Can I get a free ticket to your next show?
Yeah.
All right, it's a trade-off.
I don't know where it is, but like, yeah,
Y'all heard it first. Free t-shirt for a free ticket. So wait.
I'm pretty sure a t-shirt costs more actually, but it's a good deal. I'll take that.
Right? It's a good deal. Today is a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. Hey, can I let you in a little secret? So I use Buzzsprout to host Situaseans podcast, and let me tell you, it has been the easiest tool I've ever come across for publishing and running a podcast. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. So come on, join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Follow the link in the show notes, and that'll let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. And guess what? That gets you $20 credit if you sign up for a paid plan, and overall, that helps support our show. Let's create something great together. Let's go ahead and get into that listener submission. So, Elisha, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not actually. What are you gonna do if I say I'm not? You know what? I'm not ready for this.
Well, I guess the podcast is over then. I mean, that was like it was. We were all banking on you being ready.
Get the fuck the way off. What was it?
Go all the way the fuck off. Get the
fuck all the way off.
Get the fuck all the way off. That's gonna be the other t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's the specifically branded for Elisha t-shirt. Well, let's get on into that listener submission. This listener submission, I thank you again to the listener for submitting. This is an ick dilemma. So if you want to submit your icks, situationspodcast.com/ick. If you're new here, Situations is spelled Situaseans. All right, let's get into it. So this listener submission says, in straight relationships, when insecure girlfriends mark their territory, quote unquote, at parties and social events by either sitting on their boyfriend's laps, wrapping their arm or hand around him, or basically groping him, oh God, while giving dagger eyes to a girl, usually a friend or an acquaintance that he's talking to, while not saying hi or contributing to the conversation. Big ick. I agree. Yeah, it's an ick. It's, honestly, it's screaming insecurity, and it's so sad that the girl in this equation, from what I'm understanding, her boyfriend is at a party and some other girl, whatever, is talking to him, or some other girl like knows him. She's like, "Oh no, this is my man! Like, get away!" So it screams insecurities, and it's kind of like, what did he do? Like, I'm not blaming the guy, but I'm just saying, like, he would have had to done something in order for her to feel like that. But I'm just gonna take it that he hasn't done anything to warrant that behavior. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, where's that coming from? But what do you think?
I don't think this is a gendered action. I think men do that too, but the way that men do it is a little bit different. Like I like the comedian ex-friend guy. He would actually sort of like he wouldn't touch me in front of the other comedians, but if some other male comics approached me, he would. There was once a guy, she said like, "Hey, we're connected on Facebook." And that comedian ex-friend, she said, "Wow, you're so direct." So that is like, let me handle it. This is,
right.
Our colleague. This is my friend, Facebook acquaintance, that is, right? So, or he would say that, this guy that you were talking to, he's an asshole. So to me, I don't know if when I ask him about it, he says, "Oh, I'm just trying to protect you because there's a lot of like trashy people out there." honestly, I feel it's a bit manipulative because that's a lot of like narcissistic people do too, right? Try to isolate you from like your friends and family. So TLDR is that men do this whole insecurity marking thing. Whatever their intentions were, maybe it's different from what this specific person is mentioning. But I definitely don't think this is a gender. Marking territory is not just a woman thing.
Right, exactly. Both genders do it, and sadly, when men do that or mark their territory, it's even more in a toxic way. Unfortunately, men are fucking trash, but
good dicks though. Okay, I need to stop with this like this dick train.
We're gonna rename this episode "Dicks, Dicks, and Dicks."
Yeah. All I want for Christmas is dicks.
Exactly. Like what I would say to the listener that is probably on the receiving end of this, I would have a talk with that person, with that girl or whoever it is that's being, I guess, possessive of their significant other, and say like, hey, what's going on? I just want to, know why, you're this feeling. Why do you feel the need to protect him from? It's not like he's gonna like just fuck some other girl right here, while like you know what I mean? Like while you're watching,
challenge?
right, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, and then
you raised a really good point. Like, who submitted this? Is this person like the lady in the scenario, the man in the scenario, or the friend in this scenario, the third person?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably the third person because they did identify as a woman because like on the anonymous submission form, it just says like, what do you identify as, just to help us understand our listener audience.
Right.
But so the submission came from a woman, so it sounds like a woman is witnessing another woman being possessive with her man. Like, yeah.
No, I think in this case, if as a third party and if you want to talk to your male friend and this woman partner is sort of like interfering, I wouldn't say interfering, but making it uncomfortable to build a one-on-one friendship with this man, then this is something that the listener should talk to the male friend about it. Like, hey, I really want to hang out with you one-on-one. But is there another opportunity that we can do so? So it's also about the phrasing, right? You don't want to embarrass the girlfriend in this scenario, making enemies right there and then. Not gonna be helpful. But I would say like talk to the man and say, is there maybe we should get coffee sometime else so that you can still preserve the friendship at the same time not making the girlfriend look bad.
Right.
But that's assuming good intent on the third person's point, right? Like, I mean, if her intention is really to fuck this guy, then
right.
Or maybe this could be a threesome situation. Right? It doesn't have to be a win-lose game. We can all win together. They can all win together.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, it's like the intention, and then finding a solution that can sort of satisfy a good compromise and understanding both parties.
Yeah.
But is it sad? I don't know if I have a significant other that I really like touching and I don't mind touching him in front of other people, why wouldn't I touch him? Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe the girlfriend's intention is actually not to mark territory.
Right.
It's just dependence.
Right. Because if it's like sitting on a lap at a party, I feel like that's fine. Tons of couples do that. Yeah.
There's no chairs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Nobody have like 10 chairs for all of their friends, right? So.
Right. Plus, on top of that, to the girlfriend that is being possessive, at the same time, it's like, you can't expect this man to like not talk to anybody else at this party. Yeah. It's a party. It's a social event. It's like
yeah. Unless like she has anxiety or like whatever, she really need to like cling on to like a koala bear. Right. But let's I think when you just read the situation like that, it's hard to ask again, right? What is the intention? What's the assumption of the intention and their behavior? All we see is behavior. Mm-hmm. We can fill in all sorts of colors on what a person's intention. Wow, I sound so wise. Honestly, I'm just saying all the words so that I can watch this back and like remind myself, because I don't do this all the time. Just want to put it out there. I like dicks. Bring it back to earth.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so the correct answer is understand the intention. You know, like if someone is really sitting on like their partner, is it really a lack of trust? It would just be an intimacy and they don't mind people watching.
Yeah.
Maybe it's their kink, we don't know that.
Probably. Yeah. So I guess, I guess to the woman that's being possessive and the woman that submitted this, the ick, maybe the two of you should talk and then talk with the guy.
Yeah, I would say like if the friendship is with the guy, talk to the guy. I mean, if the friendship is with the girl, then talk to the girl.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be a little bit odd for a third party to be like, hey, woman, get off your boyfriend. It's not in your business what that relationship is, right?
Yeah. So yeah, no, like that's a really good one. Like, thank you for submitting that ick.
Yeah, that's a good ick.
I want to do a couple of hinged or unhinged prompts. Like,
all right,
we're gonna judge a couple prompts. Like, can you do that with me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Give me the unhinged ones.
Yes. Let's see. All right. Therapy recently taught me if you're lonely, get a cat, and if you're still lonely, get another cat. Is that hinged or unhinged?
Hinged.
Yeah, the more cats, the better.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on what you want, right? Like if like you need companionship and you can't find a good man, a cat gives you that. Why not? You're not hurting anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
If one cat is not enough, get another cat.
But then I feel like that's how that person becomes the crazy cat lady or a cat dad.
Well, yeah, what's wrong with that? Again, right? It's like the connotation that they're all like a bit cuckoo, but like there are a lot of cuckoo people without pets.
This is true.
Right? And I'd rather have a cuckoo person with a heart for animals than a cuckoo person without.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hinged. All right.
Print that on a t-shirt. I'd rather have a cuckoo person with pets than a cuckoo person without.
Exactly. That's going to be on the next shirt. All right. What? Okay. This one. Don't hate me if I drive a Prius.
Okay. So, ick. So,
not even unhinged. It's ick.
Yeah. Not an ick on the Prius person. It's an ick on the American culture of caring what car people drive.
This is true.
A lot of people here, they see models of cars like models of cell phones. So they can see, this person, and then they have a connotation with on the person who drives that sort of car.
Yeah.
As someone who don't drive, I'm just glad that there's four wheels that move.
Yeah.
Get me from point A to point B safely.
True.
Comfortably. That's fine. So this Prius, what's wrong with the Prius?
That's true. Yeah. I guess since they're just like not like the nice, fancy, attractive car, people kind of just give Priuses a shit. But but I like the fact that they just save so much on gas though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've never been in a Lamborghini, but I've seen one of those and it's all so short. You're almost like sitting on the ground. Like
yeah.
That's too much to fold your body into. Like, I prefer just give me a regular car. Right. I'm happy with that.
Have you ever thought about getting the car at some point, or are you just like, nah, I don't need a car?
Oh, I don't know how to drive. I don't have a license.
What?
Yeah. I mean, kind of tell from my accomplishment that I'm a driven person. Hey, oh. But yeah, in Singapore, we have amazing public transport, and having a car is a status symbol because you have to pay for the license. You pay for the car, which is about 100,000, and you pay for a license to drive, which is maybe about another 100,000. So it's a status symbol. So most of us, we just take public transport, and so I never learned how to drive.
Ah, yeah. Wow. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And that's why for me, I have a lot of car blindness. I don't care. As long as it's four wheels, get me from point A to point B safely.
Yeah.
And you don't drive like a dick, I'm happy.
Right?
Yeah.
Just have a dick, but don't drive like a dick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do one more. Tattoos and beards.
Yes.
Be my daddy.
Are you asking, do you have tattoos?
I do have tattoos.
Are you asking for yourself, Sean?
Oh, how does she know? Darn. Okay, we're going to have to cover the cameras and turn off the audio. Right? Yeah, so is this hinge or unhinged? If someone on their prompt says tattoos and beards, be my daddy.
I think it's unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're putting too much on physical appearances rather
True.
than like to me the male version is big tits and butts.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, okay, I mean I get that you like that as a preference, but like if you're using that to find someone like in the serious relationship, then like you got your priorities wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Plus, it's almost like they're opening themselves up to like the most unhinged responses in the dating app.
Yeah.
Like, hey, baby, you're like, yeah, like you can call me daddy or some weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole daddy thing, there's also like a power play too.
That too,
So, yeah. But I do like men with tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. I like men with tattoos. Beard depends.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm sure the woman listeners will understand that sometimes when you make out with someone with a beard, it's like getting a lip exfoliation. You know? Too much of it. Just rub my lip fucking raw and just have like the upper lip here will just get red. You know, after like a makeup session with someone with beard. So like, do you guys have like a beard softener or something?
Yeah, there's like beard products like soften it or even like, like little trimmers or even like the oil or whatever, like make it like flatter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Use that. Use that. Come on.
Now I feel like so self-conscious because I have a beard. I'm like, oh shit. It's like, am I part of the problem?
Yeah, I think like your length, you might be a part of the problem.
Damn.
Yeah.
I am a walking ick. Thank y'all for submitting those. That shit was so fucking funny. Like, thank you for unpacking that with me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome.
Thank y'all for submitting your icks, your stories, your questions. We love unpacking it on the show. Elisha, like, oh my God, you are so amazing. You are hilarious as fuck.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget, submit your icks to situationspodcast.com/ick. Submit your submissions, like your regular submission stories, whatever, situationspodcast.com/submit. Don't forget to follow us on all social media. And really quickly, before we give the ending housekeeping items, Elisha, can you please tell our listeners where can they find you if they want to connect with you, see your shows?
Send dick pics.
Exactly. Send dick pics. Tell us, where can we find you? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I think my main social media will be Instagram. So you can follow me on Elisha Tan. So that's ELISHA. And you can click the link right here, and here. So follow me on IG. That is the main one. Thank you very much. And send photos of your dicks, I guess.
All right, you heard it here first. So you remember, Elisha, you can't complain if you get dick pics. Be like, hey.
I asked for it, and I will monetize it on OnlyFans.
Right, exactly. There you go. Love that. And then, like any other shows and stuff like that coming up, or what's next? What's the next thing you got going on?
So this is coming out in December.
Yeah.
So like next year, I'll be doing Carnegie Hall and Madison Square Garden. I'm just manifesting.
Oh shit! You're right, manifesting, right?
So I don't know where I'll be.
Yeah.
Like what shows I would have lined up by the time this come out. So follow me on IG. Link here, there.
Exactly. Yes. And if you're watching on YouTube, you will see like her link and everything pop up there, like here. And we'll see if we can make it pop up somewhere.
Or the link is below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. And smash the like button. Is that what YouTubers say? Okay, great.
Yeah, look at that. On brand. Making my job easier. You know what? This podcast is yours. It's now called it's called Elisha's podcast. Situation. Yes, we love it. And submit. Don't forget as well. There are two other ways to submit your stories. Call the hotline 312-586-2664. Send a voicemail submission. No, it's not my personal number. It is a hotline. And yes, if you want to send a voicemail submission there, we'll air it out on the show. And also email the podcast, situationspod@gmail.com. Now, remember, if you're on a bus, a plane, a train, no matter where the fuck you are, you can take Situations Podcast with you wherever you go. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. And we're on YouTube, youtube.com/@situationspod. And with that, I will see you all back here for the next episode in a couple of weeks. Woo!
Woo! Bye.